Hello, in this video I will walk you through some rental processing logics. In particular, we will see how to create a rental order with multiple lines, how to reopen already completed sales orders, the lines of which have been returned or invoiced, and add new lines, how to set different shipment dates for rental lines in the same rental order, and how to create and confirm shipments for various lines at a time or by various dates. Now let us start with the first scenario where we will create a rental order, we will have it shaped, and then we will create an early rental return and see how rental invoicing behaves for 28 day cycles. Now we start with setting the customer first. Here you go. There's this way so that we have enough space for adding lines. I will just copy it from a previous order. Here you go. The first rental line and the second rental line. Save it. Now on the rental info tab, we now set the rental terms. The starting date will be October 10 and the ending date, let's set it's up to the end of the current year. Here we go. Now, we set the billing period for 28 days billing cycle. To do so, we first need to set up the bill code. Here you go, bill code for 28 days, number of days per billing period, 28 days. Let us set it to prorate. And here you go, we have here 3 billing cycles. Save it. And click Apply to Lines. Once you click Apply to Lines, all your rental settings will be applied to all your rental lines. Now let us check line by line how our rental info has been applied. Now this is for the first line, correct. And here you have your rate also for your monthly billing, which is defaulted, by the way, from stock item screen, and this is standard rental behavior. And let us check also the second line, rental info, to make sure everything has been applied as expected. And here you have another rate for the second line. Now once you want to shape your rental lines on different dates, you can use the requested on column right here. So in this case, I will shape both lines on the same date. And you have some more information related to start and end billing dates, and also your rates here. Now once you have done all the settings, you can move on to creating your shipment and confirm it. Only after you have confirmed your shipment, you will be able to create rental invoice and rental return per your rental information. Correct. So In this scenario, we will do an early return and see how the invoice is done in this case. So these are basically the answers to questions in point 1. Correct. Here you have, order information, quantity information, confirm it. So the confirmation has completed. Now let's just go back to our rental sales order. And it is also useful to mention that once you have created your shipment, it will become available on the shipment screen, shipments tab, and here is the reference information. Clicking on which you'll be redirected to the corresponding shipment document. Now, as said before, we will do an early return, but before that, I would like us to first open this rental information, detail information pop-up screen and to check our billing periods and dates. So as you can see here, the first billing period, invoicing period, and ends on November 6th. So this is the first invoice date. Now you can create your rental returns either on the rental return screen or just invoking this create rental return action that you have on your rental sales order form toolbar. As said, we will do an early return, which means we will set our original return date is the date to the end of the period, but in this case we'll do an early return and we will return it, say, on October 23. Great. Now once you have set it, then you have here a tracking column here, which will show early return. So as you can see, the ending rental date is December 31, but we will have an early return. Now you can save it, and where is it? So in this case, because you have created an early return, once you try to create an invoice, then your invoice will be calculated from start billing date up to your date that you have returned your rental item. Now let's go back to our sales order. Again, just like in the case of rental returns, to create a rental invoice, you can either invoke this create rental invoice action or go to create rental invoice screen and enter there the corresponding information to be able to create a rental invoice. So here you have your order number, your customer info, and your 2 rental lines right here. And on these lines, you have all the necessary information, such as your rental inventory, quantity, prices, and of course your billing date. So in this case, it is defaulted to October 23rd. This is the date, as you remember, that we did our return, and the billing period is calculated, and so is your overall the document total. Now to create the rental invoice, you can just select lines and click process, or simply click process all. There's, well, it is processing. We will open our invoices screen. So the invoice creation is completed. We go to invoices screen, and here you go. with your rental information, invoice information. As you can see here, the type is defaulted to invoice, and here you have your customer and 2 lines for each rental line. Now all the information such as shipments and rental return documents you can find in the rental notes by clicking this notes icon. So here you have your rental order information, you have your shipment number and also the return number. You also here you can see also your billing period, and also some additional information which is made optional, and you can hide it on the rental preferences screen. So the same information is also provided, of course, for all rental lines. And if you go back to your rental sales order, then you will see that once you confirm the shipment, first of all, the status of your rental order is set to completed. And as said before, you can see all the shipment information that you have created from this current rental sales order is placed here. And also, if you want to see rental and invoice information, then you can see it on the rental invoices and returns tab. It is important here to also stress that if you have shipped the rental item and have invoiced for 2 or 3 periods, then you will have the corresponding shipment number shown on the notes of the respective invoices, as I have already shown, and the rental numbers and references will be correspondingly shown on these rental invoices and returns tab under this rental returns section. So currently we have only one return for this rental order, and you have it shown right here. So these are basically the answers to the questions that were on point 1 and 2. And now, as I said at the very beginning of the recording, we'll be able to also see how we reopen already completed sales orders which have returned and invoice lines, add new lines, and see how these new lines can be processed per our business logic. To do so, we reopen it by invoking the reopen order action on the rental sales order, and you can see so once you have reopened it, the status is changed, and the sales order will allow for adding new lines. Now we again copy some rental items from the previous order, and in this case we will again add 2 lines and see how we can ship them on various dates. In this case, we will have a sales order for the newly created lines. We will set up the rental terms to unlimited. To do so, we will do it line by line. And to do so, again, we just click on the current line, rental info, and in this rental detail information pop-up, you have your unlimited rental checkbox. And once you check it, and you can see that this end billing date is set to, to a further date, because we don't know how many times we will rent our inventory. Again, the bill code is set to a monthly 28 dates. And in this case, we will invoice for the first period, which is 28-day cycle, then do an early return and create a credit memo to the customer, and thus show how credits for items are billed. and basically show that there are invoices with credits back to the customer. Again, here you have your rate information, and this is ready. You just click OK to have the rental terms updated for the current line, and we will repeat the action basically for the second one as well. But in this case, we'll set the starting date from another date. So in this case, basically you will have two new lines with unlimited rentals, and we will be able also to ship them on various days. So the first one will ship on October 10, and this one will be able to ship on basically October 11. All the other basically terms are the same. Okay. Yeah, here you go. As said before, to be able to ship on various dates, you just need to also change the requested on date once you don't add a new line, once the rest of the lines have already been shipped. So that's it. We continue. Yeah. So also it's important also to create to set the quantity, and let us move to creating your shipment. Here you go. Confirm it. Now we go back to our rental order screen. To create first, as I said, we will, in this scenario, we will first create our rental invoice, and then we will do an early return and see how we basically credit our customer for this early return period. So once you click on it, you will see that you have here only one line because you have only one shipped and confirmed line. And as you can see here, this is important, right? This is important because here you have you had your unlimited rental, but the system has calculated each billing period based on the bill code, which was set to 28 days billing cycle. So we started on October 10, and our billing period thus will end on November 6. So basically here you have that you have one full billing period, and the rate will be calculated accordingly. Now let's create our invoice. To be able to make the return, it is necessary to release your invoice. Let's go back to the GI. It should be already here. Let us first check the invoice notes to see the information here, which is right at hand. So here you have your shipment number. Of course, you cannot see the rental return information because you haven't yet created a rental return, but instead you have your rental period details together with other, accompanying information. Just remove credit and release it. Now you will be able to create an early return here by again going back to your rental sales order screen and invoking the create rental return action. Here you go. The return date. Let us set it. Let's say to October 31. Let us check. The shipment number is here. And of course, the return tracking is set to early. And of course, order information. release it. Now once you have released it, we navigate to create rental invoices screen to credit our customer for this early return. Right. So in this case, once if you are to create invoices, you will have to change by date. So basically, the form will be empty, of course, and you will have to change the by date information and identify the rental order number so that you can see the related information here. Otherwise, to make things easier, you can just again invoke the create rental invoice action on the sales order. Let us see here. Here you go. Great. So in this case, so basically this is what we were expecting to see, basically a rental order and customer, but the important part here is on the sales or this line with information of crediting. That is, if you remember, we did an early return by October 31, so we will be crediting our customer starting from November 1st up until the end of the billing period, which is basically November 6th. And the billing period is recalculated. And also your rate, this is the original rate, of course, once you create the credit memo, and you just, as before, you have just to click process all action, and the system will automatically create a credit memo right here. Now we will see in the GI, so as you can see here, the type is set to credit memo. Let us open it, and in this case you will have your line and you will have your basically credit memo notes here together with your shipment and return number. And if you go back to your rental sales order, you will see all this information updated on the corresponding tabs. Let us check the shipments tab. So as I said, all your shipments will be sequentially listed on your shipments tab on your rental sales order, and the same also is applied for invoices, credit memos, and rental returns. So as you can see here, we have invoiced twice, created once a credit memo, and also we have 2 returns. This is basically how rental enhancement works, where with invoicing and early returns and creating credit memos. I hope that all your questions and also concerns have been answered in this video. Thank you for watching.